Hey. Alright, so I don't really know what the fuck's going on or how to stream. I believe I'm live right now. I think I am, but I think it also takes a second to like update with what is happening, so I'm not gonna see it on the screen for a bit. Dear God, man. This is weird. This is weird because, like, the only other time I've ever been live, or the only other times that I've ever been live have been with Buffalo Staple, and that was just, like, more of, like, a, you know, it was more comfortable because I wasn't fucking by myself, and now I just have to, like, just bite the bullet and get out there. I don't even think there's anyone watching right now, but alright, let me, like, tweet this or something. Let me tweet this. Actually, let me ask someone I know if I'm actually live right now, so I'm, like, I can confirm that that's what's going on. I think it takes a little while for, like, the comments to start coming in, so I might not see those for, like, there may be a delay. I don't know. It says there is one person watching. Hello to that one person. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for, like, people to get in before I start getting into it, but yeah, so for right now, for like, for a couple minutes, I just kind of have to, like, kill time. How are you guys doing? How's your Sunday? I've hardly left the house all weekend. Just been writing, and then, like, when I can't write, when I just, like, cause, like, I can only write in short bursts, and then, like, I'll just, like, my head will just get, like, jammed, and I'll have to, like, stop thinking for a while, so I'll either be, like, flipping between social media or I'll be taking breaks, but yeah. I wish that wasn't the case. I could get way more done. What the fuck's happening? If anyone is saying anything, I'm not getting, wait, hold up. Yeah, I don't I think I'm on the screen where the comments would come in, but if anyone has said anything, like, I have not seen anything. So. Dear. Oh, Josh is watching. Cool, so okay, this is, like, some confirmation that, like, someone is on the other end of me speaking right now. Thank God. Alright. Jesus. Okay, now there are, like, 10 people watching. I'm so confused. How has anyone said anything, or am I just, like, not seeing the chat? I'm gonna ask Josh. This is so funny because he's probably there, like, seeing me like, talk about how I'm confused and then go to type and, like, I show up as typing, like, as I'm typing on the stream. That's funny. Oh, I need to refresh it. That makes sense. Hold up. Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Hello. How are you? Yeah, what do you think of the new FKA Twigs? I liked it. I didn't like it as much as LP1 or the Melissa EP, but it's pretty good. The lyrics were like a knife to the heart. That's actually kind of, like, part of why I didn't cover it. 'Cause it just made me, like, think about things and feel things that I couldn't handle feeling in the moment that it dropped, so I kind of just ignored it. Make you chat admin. Is that a serious request? How do I do that, and what does that mean? Yeah, I don't know how many people I'm gonna, like, wait for to show up before I start answering questions I already have. It didn't do too much for you, sadly. Why not? I'm trying to think. What were some like disappointing moments on that? Home with You, I think, is kind of shit personally. Holy Terrain is all right. So like I went into this album like not really with my expectations that high because none of the singles really like did it for me like that. Even Cellophane, which I seem to be the only fucking person not in love with Cellophane, but like the thing about Cellophane is that like it starts and it sounds so much like it's like building up to something, and I don't have a problem if like songs don't want to have a crescendo or whatever, like some sort of conclusion if they're just like evocative enough as is, but the whole song literally like sounds so much like the piano chords, like they're building up to something, and then like you just have those little like textures in the center, and then it kind of just goes back to the same thing and like fizzles out. But I think she does a lot of like cool things with her voice on that song, so it's quite frustrating for me. Also, tell me if the audio is like at a good volume and if you can hear me clearly, and if like the mic is, cause I think this is like picking up the mic and not just my built-in mic, but I'm not actually sure. Which albums from the first half of the decade were and are important to you? Well, I'm working on a list, so I don't know, a lot of them. Immunity by John Hopkins, that's the first one that comes to my head. Fucking Black Up, Shabazz Palaces, Replica, does the first half include 2015? Frozen Niagara Falls, yeah, a ton of them. Audio's fine, don't worry. Cool. Good. Why am I so nervous right now? This is just fucking weird. It's just fucking weird, like, exposing yourself to people live, just in your raw state. Here I am, guys. Low-key, I thought Magdalene was a little bit too cleanly produced, writing excellent, though. Yeah, I could see that. Honestly, just, like, texturally, it didn't satisfy me as much as I had hoped. And also, I just kind of think that, like, on LP1, it's, like, that album is really helped by how, like, big and, like, how the choruses soar and, like, how much little intricate detail there is, and I wasn't catching as much of it on Magdalene. I felt like it was more minimal, which is cool, but, like, what it was giving me just, like, wasn't quite enough. Don't be nervous, your content is appreciated. Well, thanks, the Dice Man. Appreciate it. You doing a decade list? Okay, let me just talk about my decade and year lists, because holy shit, like, so I've been working, like, literally consistently since my last review, like, constantly, pretty much, like, as much as I can, like, manage, with my, like, still maintaining, like, physical health and shit like that. Like, I get home from work, I try to write, I go to bed. If I wake up at a decent hour before I have to go to work, I write, then I go to work, and I hear those albums at work, and then I'm, like, brainstorming at work, and I get home, and you get the point. Of course, obviously, like, I have to take care of myself, so when I burn out, I stop working, but literally, like, every, like, waking moment, I've been thinking about working. So, like, both of these lists are by far just, like, the biggest creative projects I've ever, like, done. It's, like, so much time put into one thing, and I'm only, like, probably halfway done with the whole thing, because I'm thinking about the fact that, like, I have to go through, like, the recording process for both, I have to finish writing everything, like, I have something, like, substantial down for every single album. It's just now I'm going through my 2019 year-end list and making just everything perfect, just how I want it, and then once I'm done with that, I should be able to record it in, like, late December, early January, something like that, but also I have to consider, like, family stuff. I'm gonna have to go to my dad's for the holidays, and then my brother and his girlfriend are gonna be here for a weekend, so that just kind of knocks out 2 weekends. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, my point is, it's just been really weird, because I'm not used to just, like, you know, buckling down and, like, putting so much into one thing and being, like, really, really patient with it and knowing that it's gonna be really, really stressful just no matter what I do. Like, I know that, like, the recording process for both of these is just gonna suck because I'm just gonna have to be working day after day after day, and yeah, it's gonna suck, but I'm hoping that the final products will be great because, yeah, low-key, like, the writing that I've done for both of these lists is some of the most proud I've ever been of things that I've written, and I know I've been ignoring, like, a shit ton of comments this whole time, But yeah, sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent. I always wanted to ask you, do you like Fortet? Will you ever review some of his albums? Also, have you heard of Gas? Yes, I've heard of Gas. I've heard Narco Pop and Pop, and I've heard Koningsforst, which I love to death. And do I like Fortet? Yes, I absolutely love Fortet. I've spent the most time with Rounds and Pause, and there's Lovin' You. Not much of his other work, but let's see. I've heard New Energy, which came out in 2017. That was alright. Let's see. What else? My mind is blanking. Beautiful Rewind, I've heard, which is pretty good. Yeah, there's probably one that I'm just blatantly forgetting, but long story short, yes, I love Fortet. What do I think of the new Avril Lavigne album? What? I don't know. That's an album that exists. I haven't heard it. Thoughts on Autechre? Actually, recently I've been listening to a lot more Autechre. There's something really just, like, calming about their sound design in terms of, like, it's so emotionally null that it's, like, it makes me feel something just in that, if that makes sense. It's, like, it's so crisp and cold and just, like, daunting, I guess, that in itself just, like, kind of, it gives me, like, a space to think and just kind of, like, let my mind be numbed by it all, and that in itself I think is really cool. And yeah, Try Repete, I think, is my favorite by Autechre, because Confield is fantastic, but I kind of get tired out by the end of it. Just, like, the slightest bit. I still, like, love it to bits, but, yeah. Let's see. What's my occupation? That was actually a question that someone asked on the actual Q&A, which I'm gonna have to get into, and I don't even know, like, what I'm gonna do, if I'm just gonna ignore everyone's comments as I'm, like, answering the questions, but, yeah. What's my occupation? I wash dishes and listen to music while I wash dishes, and it's low-key a great gig, and, I also work at a record store on the weekends, so yeah, it's pretty cool. And I'm a music writer, I guess. Also, what's my favorite Aphex Twin side project? I don't know, I guess, like, Polygon Window, but I haven't heard very many. Hey there, won't be on for too long. IRL stuff has come up, but I'll rewatch later. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming, and good luck with your IRL stuff. What are my favorite albums from the 60s and 70s? There are too many for me to think of off top. I've never actually listened to Silver Jews in my life before. Thoughts on E? I actually liked it better than I thought I would. Although I wish that, like, some songs on that project just, like, were a bit more satisfying, but in general, I think it's really cool. I used to be a dishwasher, but they wouldn't let me listen to music. Why did you continue washing dishes if, like, they didn't let you? What's the appeal of a job like that? Like, just, I don't know. It seems like you could do something, like, better with no experience. Like, cause there's no other reason why the fuck I would just, like, willingly have this job if not for me. Like, literally, if my boss, like, came up to me and said, like, hey, like, you can't listen to music on the job anymore, I would probably just quit on the spot. I would probably just quit on the spot. But also, I'm not too attached to who I work with anymore. Everyone who I was attached to quit, so yeah. Also, I think I was streaming for like 2 seconds by accident, because that's on my channel now. Okay, I'm pulling up like your original questions. And yeah, I'm sorry for like everything that I'm gonna miss in doing this. You would like me to review those Judas Priest albums? Well, there's no, like, I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna make an actual review for those albums. Song stuck in your head literally right now. Okay, so the song stuck in my head right now is... Okay, wait, no, it's called... it's a Current 93 song. It's the most random shit to be stuck in my head, but it's that like creepy ass song on All the Pretty Little Horses that just like repeats, "Who will deliver me from this body of death?" That's the song that's actually like stuck in my head right now. Because I was just listening to that album. For some reason, I've been on a kick sort of in the past like 48 albums with All the Pretty Little Horses, which I'm not as hype on this album as I was the first time I heard it, but it's just cathartic as fuck to me. As is Current 93 in general. They just scratch a very specific itch for me and probably a lot of people that I can't really get anywhere else. Thoughts on Anthony Fantano? I love him. I was desperate for money, but luckily I got a better job where I can listen to music whenever. There you go. It's hard because, like, I just want a job where I can listen to music, and that's... I wish it was, like, more acceptable to just ask, like, hey, like, is this allowed before I get hired? But seems a little shitty if you literally only want the job to be able to listen to music. But if it's a job that shitty, why else? Like, why would you really want it anyway? Will 1000 Gex be on your year-end list? No, it will not. I actually heard that this week, and I like it even less now, so, yeah. So about that halloumi, right. Actually, thank you for saying this, because I need to stop reading the comments that are coming in live and just get into what you've already asked. Halloumi's not that good, Camden. It's really overly salty and rubbery, and it just tastes like just piss. It's not good. Halloumi fries are good, as you know, but you can only eat like 4 or 5 of them before your stomach is literally like on fire and just hates you. So like, how useful are they really? You know, like, you just have to indulge here and there, but like, even then it kind of makes you feel like shit to eat them. So I don't know. Halloumi's not really done it for me. Music taste? Is that a question? I like music. Is To Pimp a Butterfly overrated? No, it isn't. So what do you think of Pringles? Pringles are cool. My dad used to make Pringles for a living. Now he's at Kellogg's. Fun fact. Yeah, Pringles are cool. I like the shape of Pringles. Thoughts on Mewcore albums? Shut up. Favorite cheese then? I don't fucking know. Alright, album? Yes, album. Okay, everyone shut up. I'm getting into the questions you've already asked. I'm sorry, like, this is such a weird way to do it, and I know that, but I really just don't want to fucking edit a video right now, because that would take so many hours, and I couldn't be working on the lists while I'm doing that, and just like, if this is gonna be so casual to the point where I'm pretty much just answering off top anyway, like, is there really any point in editing the video and then like putting it up as a separate video? And also it would probably be like 2 hours, so fuck that. Okay, so 12345 is a bad password asked. That's some good advice, thank you. What's an artist everyone would assume you would like based on your taste but don't? Think probably the best example of this is Igloo Ghost. I think his music is annoying as fuck. And yeah, listening to a whole album by him, like fucking Neo Wax Plume, I just want to kill myself by the end. It's just a sensory overload. And I'm definitely not into like the way that he uses vocal chipmunking, and just compositionally, like, a lot of his songs just strike me as a total mess. And yeah, like, maybe if like his music wasn't like just constant explosion, like if he peeled things back more, because I know he kind of did that on the Clear whatever EP that he dropped last year, that would be cool. But for now, can't really stomach what he does, and I'm kind of just really confused whenever anyone praises Neo Wax Bloom and etc. What have I missed? E by Echo 2K is good. It's really good. It's like a 7 to me. What's up? Your channel's criminally underrated. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the whole point. Maybe, but I hate it. So, it doesn't really matter if it's the whole point. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What made me want to do music reviews, was asked by Doritos, Cheetos, or Fritos. Well, this was around, like, late 2017, and just for so much of my life, for several years, I will say, or, like, really a few years, like 3 years, it felt like there was just, like, a giant space in my life where something music related should be. Like, I just felt so intensely passionate about music, and there was no part of, like, my friends weren't really into music, like, I was in college for art, like, there was no, like, part of my daily routine that involved music, and I knew for a long time that should change. I used to go to a lot of concerts, and then I kind of got burnt out on that because of, like, money, and because I used to go to a lot of shows that I wasn't really that interested in for my concert buddy at the time, and that sort of just sucked the life out of me, just in terms of, like, it would just, like, deplete me physically, and, like, it didn't really seem worth it or for the music anymore, because I just, like, wasn't into the type of music she was into, so kind of stopped doing that. And after I went to college, I was at the time that I, like, decided to, like, make a music reviewing thing, I was kind of going through a lot of shit, and just, like, sat down and thought, okay, like, I need to just do something to, like, make my life better. Just, like, I need to just, like, make something of this obsession that I have. So that's what was going through my head at the time that I started. Am I into Pink Floyd? Of course. What do I think of Wise Blood? She's cool, but I don't really think her voice is that interesting, and her music kind of suffers a little bit for it. What's my favorite Milo album? You know, I would have said Who Told You to Think, like, a month or two ago, but now So the Flies Don't Come is kind of starting to creep up on me. Okay. Cool. So someone asked, how was my high school experience? Oh dear. Well, I don't know. I mean, no one really knows who the fuck they are in high school, so I didn't either. I was pretty, like, just invisible to everyone around me, and I kind of made that happen myself. Like, I very rarely went out or, like, put myself out there in any sort of way. I didn't really make any, like, valuable, like, friendships that I've kept to this day. Actually, none. So, yeah, the whole time I just felt really, like, confused and sort of, like, outside of myself, and I was just sort of, like, surrounded by people who I felt like didn't, like, I would never, like, be able to connect with, and that sucked. But, you know, the longer I live, the more I think that that's just a thing with life in general. But I feel like it was amplified in high school. Like, I just didn't feel right the whole time. You know what I mean? I don't know what... Diego, I don't know what that means, to be honest. Yeah, do I listen to 16 horsepower? No, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, okay. Someone asked if I'm a vinyl collector, and if so, what's my most prized possession that I own, and what would I, like, hope to acquire one day? No, I'm not really, like, I don't really collect vinyl just because of money, which is kind of ironic, because I work at a record store. I only have, like, 15 records, and they're all just, like, ones that I've sort of, like, bought on impulse. But my most prized possession that I own is probably House of Sugar, because I got sent that by the label, and that was just, like, really cool and humbling, and still kind of blows my mind that happened. So just, like, having that memory attached to it, and being able to hear the album, like, on vinyl before it came out, like, so far in advance, too, was just really, really cool. And I love that album. I still adore that album. It's very high up on my year-end list. But no, I don't really collect like that. And yeah, don't tell my boss that. Let's see. Okay, so someone asked, how did I get that dent on my wall? So if you can't tell, I moved, actually. I moved out of my mom's house very recently, and there's no longer the dent in my wall, so you won't have to be super distracted anytime you're watching one of my reviews anymore, so you're welcome. Fun fact, though, I have actually already filmed this whole Q&A a couple times, and then, like... So, what happened the first time, I filmed the whole first half, my camera died, and then I charged it up, and I can't remember what the fuck happened. Something happened to where I couldn't... Oh, yeah, it was, like, the second part of that Q&A was, like, way too zoomed into my face, so I couldn't use that footage, and then literally I moved, like, the day afterward. So if I were to record, like, just the second part, I would be in 2 separate locations for the whole video, so I started the whole thing over, and recorded almost all of it, and then I accidentally deleted the audio file. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna stream. So I have already, like looked at the dent in my wall, touched the dent in my wall, talked about, like, the possibilities of, like, how that dent in my wall got there, but now it's not here anymore, so I can't do that. But I think probably I was, like, hanging up, something at some point in high school, like, I don't know. There are a lot of, actually, dents on this wall, or not dents, but, like, just, like, things, but, like, nails in them, and just, like, weird things from, like, times that the girl who lived here before was trying to, like, hang shit up, so, oh god, I've missed a lot. So no vinyl, what about CD gang? I have 4 CDs, they're right here. Actually, I could bring out my records too, they're literally just, like, right below me in this desk. I've got Double Negative. Actually, you know what? All of these are from Camden. Every single one of these are courtesy of Buffalo Staple, who you should go subscribe to. He got me this for Christmas last year, and it's my favorite album of 2018, Double Negative by Low. I have House of Balloons, I have Garden of Delete, and then I have Depression Cherry. All phenomenal albums. Mostly I have Garden of Delete because the album art's so cool. I've kind of fallen off on this album a little bit, just the slightest bit, but I literally just love the artwork so much that I love to, like, look at it. So, yeah, those are my 4 CDs. So no, I don't really collect CDs either, unfortunately. Let's see. Best discography of the decade. You know what? I'm glad you asked this because someone else asked this, and I think I've come to the conclusion that it's Death Grips in terms of just, like, quantity of 8s or higher that they have come out with this decade. Although, if you were to, like, count Nicholas Jar's compilation Nymphs, I might actually say Nicholas Jar. And I guess it depends on, like, what you mean by, like, best discography, because Blank Mass has 2 10s for me this decade, so it's, like, it's confusing. But Death Grips has a ton of 8s for me, but only one made the list, like, the top 50. Oh my god, where are we? Fortet Project and why? Favorite Fortet Project and why? Someone actually asked this, too, on my, like, video. It's There's Love in You, and it's because I love how just, like, packed with fucking beauty that thing is. Like, I love how the tracks are so long-winded on there, and I love the house angle that album takes, and I love, like, how just, like, delicate everything is, but how, like, thick it is, I suppose. Hey, I'm a new subscriber. I've been digging your vids recently, and I think you're great at music discussion. Keep improving. Cheers. Thank you. Pink Floyd worst to best, please. Probably not, I'm gonna be honest. That sounds like a lot of work. and I still gotta do One Tricks Point Never, and The Cure, and Boris. Those are the 3 that I'm gonna do if I ever get to it. Hey, have I ever listened to Sun? Yes, I have listened to Sun, and I like Sun. Let's see. Do you associate any album ever with each season? Yeah, actually, I've used so many, like, just seasonal sort of, like, nature metaphors, like, on my list. It's actually, like, I need to stop. I need to chill on those. But yeah, all the time. Mostly, there are a lot of, like, winter albums. Like, albums that I feel like I'm in a winter wonderland when I hear them. Best Boris album is Flood, probably. Let's see. Someone asked me to, like, play you guys a song on guitar. No, because I've technically played guitar for a while, but it's been on and off, and I've taken lessons, like, in short bursts in my life. I think I've been playing since I was, like, 12, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't touched my guitar in, like, 2 years, so I've probably just, it would be bad. Like, I would suck. The calluses on my fingers are gone, and any songs that I could play before would just be a mess, and I don't really want to do that. Do I watch Deep Cuts? Have I seen his Miles video? No, I haven't, but yes, I watch Deep Cuts, and I love him. We're in a relationship. Didn't you know that? Sound cuts forever. Let's see. Mars Volta at the Drive-In or none of the above. I've only heard one Mars Volta album, so at the Drive-In. Chris managed to squeeze in some time to drop by. How's it going? Pretty good. It's going pretty good. Okay. Someone asked me, when will I release an album, and if that question feels dumb, can I talk about how my visual work is going? I hate this question, not because it's a bad question, but it makes me realize that all I do is write now. And, like, I think I'm okay with that, but it just sucks sometimes to acknowledge that, like, I don't really make art anymore or even, like, consider sitting down and, like, painting. It's just not, like, I don't think, like, oh, I have this idea for a painting and I want to, like, put it to action anymore because it's just been so long, like, and my head just isn't really in that space right now, and, like, also, obviously, I'm just kind of, like, racing to get these lists done, but, in terms of, like, an album, yeah, even less on that. I haven't touched Logic since I was with Camden, and that, like, wasn't seriously anyway, so, yeah, nah, neither. I don't know. I, like, part of me is like, you know what? I think I can probably chill on the visual stuff now, because I've sort of, like, scratched that itch already, or, like, I kind of feel like I don't want to say done, but I feel like I've kind of, like, I've done all that I needed to do at the point in my life when I was, like, really into making paintings about albums, so, yeah, I don't really know if I need to, like, if I, like, feel empty because, like, I'm not doing it anymore, because, like, for me, anyway, like, it's just as satisfying to review as it is to, like, make art. Now, anyway. It wasn't always like that, but now it is. It feels the same. Kind of, like, it's the same fundamental concept of just, like, putting myself out there in, like, a way that I couldn't otherwise. So, am I Canadian? No, I'm American. Writing is just word painting, bruh. Yeah, tell him. How's the new pad? It's cool. It's just this room. I could, like, tilt I have, like, some of my paintings up here, and then, like, if you turn it, it's just like, there we go. There's my bed. It's not made. It's, like, pretty spacious, and then I live with people, which is cool. Can you be my wife? Easy question. Fuck yeah. You gonna make an album of the decade list? Yes. I'm not going through this again. Yes, I am. What was my first 10 out of 10 album? I think it was Funeral by Arcade Fire. Giugotti is a certified hood classic. Absolutely. Okay. Someone asked me, what do I think of Atoms for Peace, and what is my worldview? Is there a reason I wake up every day, or is it just by force of habit? And how happy am I on a scale of 1 to 10? So Atoms for Peace, Amok is pretty cool, I guess. It helps that it's just, like, the kind of music that I gravitate towards anyway, so, like, I would enjoy a listen of that album, like, regardless, but I think some of the instruments used on it sound a little bit cheap, or not necessarily cheap, but, like, just contextually, like, they don't belong where they are placed, necessarily. But for everything that, like, for every instrument that I like the way it sounds, there's something that I don't like, so it's sort of like a weird trade-off. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's just like, I never come back to it. And then what is my worldview? Is there a reason I wake up every day, or is it just force of habit? Well, I don't really think that there's, like, any purpose to, like, the universe, if that's what you're asking. I wake up every day because I have to. And how happy am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Dude, right now it's, like, -3. But, a couple weeks ago it was, like, a 4. So, I don't know. Like, in general, I feel like I want to be happy. Like, I don't feel like I'm just sulking for the sake of it, which maybe, like, 4 years ago I had more of a tendency to do. Like, I genuinely feel like I have the desire to, like, approach life with a positive outlook. Now it's just, like, recent shit has just made me really unhappy, kind of, like, in a way that's out of my control, so... Yeah, and also I'll probably start feeling better once I actually, like, get something creative out, because I'm just literally spending so much time working on these lists, and it feels like they're going nowhere, even though I know they are. It just feels like there's so much left to do, and, like, nothing will ever be up to show for what I'm doing, even though there will be. So that's kind of not helping the other things, because usually, like, what I do to help myself get through those things is art, and yeah. Favorite Swan song? Whew. Probably Helpless Child, I guess. What review sites, columns, and channels do I refer to and generally respect for gaining new music recommendations? Rick the Lie. Deep Cut. I mean, well, it depends on, like, are you asking, like, you know, those recommendations? Because, like, Not Real Music, Rick the Lie for sure for recommendations. But I watch a lot of channels. Like, Deep Cuts is absolutely lovely. Let's see. Buffalo Staple, of course. I'm definitely just forgetting a bunch off top. Can I just go to, like, my recently watched channels? Who am I forgetting? Forgetting all the boys in my community. I do watch Anthony a lot. Liam, the music reviewer, is cool. David Rowe is cool, but they don't really upload consistently necessarily. But they're great. You should subscribe to them. Noise Pond as well. Yeah. I don't really, like, read reviews much, honestly. Yo, Sophia, how are you doing? I'm sorry for, like, all the shit that I'm missing. Am I a cat person or a dog person? I am a cat person, for sure. Although, like, at this point in my life, I would never, like, willingly go out of my way to get an animal. You ever gonna come back to New York or what? For you, yes. For no one else, though. Let's see. Also, what's my favorite show I've ever been to? Glad you asked this. Someone else asked this. Favorite show I've ever been to? Honestly, probably, JPEG Mafia at NYU. Because I saw him in, like, the tiniest classroom, and to anyone if you've seen JPEG Mafia, you know what that experience would be like. It was insane, and yeah, just the fucking energy in that room was, like, absolutely just life-changing, and, he was, like, constantly in the center of the crowd. Like, it was just one giant pit, just a shit ton of moshing and jumping around, and it was, so good. Mike Seatown, I don't really watch much Dead End hip-hop or Mike Seatown, honestly. Like, I've seen some videos and enjoyed them, but it's not, like, a regular thing for me. But also, I've not really been on, like, a hip-hop wave recently at all. Like, I've not listened to much hip-hop recently. Rank Fantana's 10 out of 10 albums. Okay, so we have, like, what? T-Pab, that would actually probably be first. You Won't Get What You Want, we have To Be Kind, we have Kitsy Ghosts, we have, what am I missing? Shit. The Money Store, right, okay. First would be T-Pab, and then it would be You Won't Get What You Want, and then it would be To Be Kind? Yeah, it would be To Be Kind, and then it would be The Money Store, and then Kitsy Ghosts. I think I forgot one, though. Let's see. Am I on the side of early Swans, or am I more of a post-Soundtracks for the Blind kind of person? I'm more of a post-Soundtracks for the Blind kind of person. Honestly. Sending love. Things will get better. Thank you. Hope so. Shoo Worst to Best. Just go watch David's. Look up David Rowe and watch his, because I'm not going to do that anytime soon. And he is fantastic. So. Okay. Someone asked my top 5 favorite metal albums, and for me to recommend underrated ambient albums. My top 5 favorite metal albums are going to be pretty basic picks. Probably, sorry, that was the mug against my desk. Probably One of Us Is the Killer. Probably Times of Grace by Neurosis. Jane Doe. Probably White Pony. And We Are the Romans by Botch. And could I recommend some ambient albums that are heavily underrated? Let me recommend a few from this year, actually. Look up Confusion with a K by Jonas Meyer. I listened to that recently. Was really good. Look up A Day in Belle Brute by Lillian Rosarian. Shit. I'm spacing. Before After by Black Decom. Serpent Power by Celestial Tracks. I don't know if that's actually, like, under the radar still, but when I first listened to it, it was, I don't know. Do I play any instruments or have any musical background? I've played instruments, like, through phases of my life, but never, like, consistently. Like, I played guitar, like I mentioned, for a while on and off, and I played the flute in band in high school at one point, and I played the piano for, like, a year or two. But yeah, I've never really, like, gotten great at any instrument. Favorite Kate Bush album? Probably Hounds of Love. Thoughts on the new Tonight? I really like it. Not as much as the original, but almost as much as the original. Did I listen to Hiding Places? Yes, and I loved it, and you'll see it on my year-end list. Someone asked, how objectively can music be rated, if at all? It can't, dude. It can't. Because, like, even if you have, like, like a set of, like, a set of things that you use to, like, evaluate albums, like, whether those things should be, like, the things that you, like, decide to judge it based on is subjective in itself. So, like, how are you gonna evaluate music objectively? Like, no, that doesn't work. I think there's kind of, like, this question's weird, though, because there's kind of, like, there is a scale, sort of, like, I think that you can be personally, like, biased towards a certain style of music, and that can kind of affect, like, the observations you draw, but you can't really necessarily just, like, prevent that. Like, there's no way to do that. So, everything, especially that I rate on Rate Your Music, is biased. I try to be, like, I try a bit harder in my reviews to, like, really try to, like, just put myself in the shoes of, like, the artist and what they were going for a bit more, but still, at the end of the day, it's just, like, there are things that you personally are gonna dig more than others. And someone actually asked, like, something that sort of, like, is along these same lines about how, like, oh, how do you, like, keep an open mind towards all types of genres, and, like, how do you, like, it was something like that. I want to find that comment, cause, shit. Sorry, it's gonna take a little while. God damn it. It's like all the way at the bottom, I guess. Oh, okay. I think this is just showing me top comments, not all. Fuck's sake. Okay, someone asked, like, how do you keep an open mind towards all types of genres, even though, because, like, I definitely do believe, like, obviously, like, the first time that you hear certain styles of music, you're just gonna be, like, turned off by it, but I think it's, like, a combination of patience and time, like, first of all, just genuinely, like, wanting to absorb as many different styles of music as you can, that's obviously, like, number one, and then just, like, let time run its course, because the more, like, into the music you get that you would just naturally gravitate towards, the more refreshing in context of that other styles of music will start to sound, and also the more that you listen to and think about music, the more your ears will kind of, like, open up to what makes specific albums in those genres that you're not as attracted to special and stand out in their own ways. God damn it, there's a lot of comments. Do I think a personality based around a deep knowledge of music is irrelevant in the internet age? I don't know what you're asking. Around the Fur is my personal favorite Deftones album, but all their albums fuck. Really? Really? That's your favorite? Never heard that before. I've never heard that take before, actually. What's the longest album I've listened to in one sitting? Gosh, it's not that long. It's probably like 2.5 hours, but I don't know, like, I don't have, like, any, I guess, like, soundtracks. That's 2.5 hours, right? I don't know. Thoughts on Christoph de Babylon I listened to that I'm out of it and I love it. Yeah, that's a really good album. Let's see. Favorite group or album? I've only listened to Alien Observer, and I'm not really that into it at all. So I haven't checked out anything else. Okay. Okay. I genuinely feel bad for the people who have asked questions on this video because, like, I don't have timestamps for them coming back. Like, that they can just come back to and hear their question answered. Like, how long have I even been streaming to? It's been a long time. It's like 40 whatever minutes. Okay, someone asked thoughts on Dive. They have some pretty, like, evocative guitar work, but, like, dude, none of their albums are, like, engaging front to back or even, like, remotely hinting towards that. Like, literally, like, 2-3 tracks into fucking, like, Deceiver and Is the Azar and Ocean. Like, you get it. You get the point, and they just keep fucking going. Am I a stoner? No, I don't smoke weed or drink or do really anything at all. At least not regularly. Do I have an Instagram? Yes, it's the Sound Binge. What didn't I like about the 100 Gex album? It's basically just an Audible shit post. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, there's nothing, like, like, a lot of the songs are kind of just, like, not very substantial at all in the first place, and it's not very texturally satisfying, like, really at all to me. It's kind of annoying. Like, sometimes it's funny, but, like, even then it's, like, not funny enough to the point where, like, it's a meme album worth returning to and memeing with, you know? Do I think She by Harry Styles saved rock? What? Am I vegan? No, but I'm vegetarian. Do I believe Kendrick Lamar or Bjork have ever made a bad album? I really don't like Utopia. Cool. Okay. Do I think Outkast, who's more influential, Outkast or the show? I don't know. I don't really care. Titanic Rising Album of the Year, not in my opinion. Someone asked... I was gonna answer that, but... Okay. Someone asked, like, what are my thoughts on New Zealand and New Zealand music? And said, if you don't have any opinions on the music side, he'll comment some great New Zealand albums on the Q&A. Please do that. Few artists from New Zealand that I listen to are, like, Avondale Bowling Club and Kimbra, and Lord is from New Zealand, and Unknown Mortal Orchestra is from New Zealand. But yeah, I'm not really, like, familiar with, like, all that New Zealand has to offer. So please do that. Favorite album everybody else hates? The Lou Reed Metallica collab album, I think, is really good, actually. And I don't think people generally have a positive opinion of Liturgy, but I really love the artwork. Best artist of the decade, and why is it Daniel Lopatin? Because he's fantastic. Did you write sad poetry in your youth? No. I was never really into poetry or writing until I got older. Okay. Liam asked, who I don't think he is watching, but my good pal Liam, music reviewer, asked, are there any albums that I'm currently in the process of cooling down on or warming up to? And congratulations, Queen. Thank you. I'm in the process of cooling down on... This is funny because I saw you. You asked, like, the same question roughly, and I said that The Color in Anything had grown on me over time. That's true, but, like, within the past month or two, I've kind of fallen off on it a bit, so now I'm like, well, shit. Yeah, I'm kind of falling off on The Color in Anything. Like, I really love it just from, like, if I just listen to it and just kind of, like, tune into, like, the connections that I've already formed with it, I still love it. And I kind of think that that's just, like, a thing with music in general. Like, I think that, like, if you love an album enough at a certain point, like, the nostalgia is always just kind of going to be there moving forward, so it's kind of, like, hard, I think, in most cases, to just sort of, like, shut that out. And I think there are genuinely songs on The Color in Anything that are, like, to fucking die for. Like, fuck, I mean, I just cried to Always in my car the other day, like, shit. But yeah, just, like, overall, in one sitting, yeah, some of the electronics are a little bit cheap sounding, and it is kind of a lot of the same shit, and honestly, some of the songwriting, like, could be a bit better, like, have a bit more character to it, but, like, I still love it. It's still probably, like, my favorite James Blake album, but I am kind of cooling off on it just a little bit. And then in terms of albums I'm warming up to, Public Strain by Women is a 9 to me now for some... I literally, like... This shit confuses me. I don't even know why I love Public Strain so much, which is weird because, like, 95% of the time I know why I'm into the music I'm into, but just, like, something about that shit just sounds like the most eerie fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. It'll be on my decade list, so, like, I sort of know why. I think it's, like, dude, that thing sounds like it was, like, recorded in some kind of, like, dark cavern or some shit, like, fuck, man. And just, like, the melodies themselves, like, the guitar work itself is just really good, and, yeah, and, like, kind of like the way that the guitar tones are a bit, like, almost, I don't want to say, like, joyful, because it's not joyful, but it's, like, it's got a bit of a, like, a light to it, but then everything else is so dark. It's just cool. Although I kind of wish that, like, the songwriting was a little bit better on Public Strain, but I still like love it to bits, so it doesn't, like, really matter. Let's see. Because I don't really think songwriting is everything, necessarily. Like, yeah, something about Public Strain gives me, like, a really specific image. Like, I definitely just wrote it in... It's literally, like, Public Strain makes me think of there being, like, snow on the ground and, like, sunshine hitting the snow with, like, a certain, like, kind of glare at, like, 6 p.m. when, like, the sun is, like, going down a bit. That's, like, literally, like, what I always think of when I hear Public Strain. For some reason. Love that album so much, OMG. I don't know what you're talking about because I've kind of, like, not looked at these comments in a while, but I'm glad, Sophia. Favorite albums and songs by Mr. Bungle and Weena. I've heard one Mr. Bungle album and I fucking hated it. I wanted to kill myself the whole time. So no answer for Mr. Bungle because I haven't tried anything else by them. And for Ween, Quebec is my favorite Ween album, and I don't know what song would be my... You know what? I'm gonna pull up the track list. If I can't picture the track list in my head, then it probably won't be the most accurate answer. Oh, maybe The Closer. Maybe If You Could Save Yourself, You Save Us All. Maybe Transdermal Celebration. I don't know. Why is Supermarket a 10? So many reasons. Just endless reasons. One of the most overrated albums of the year. There are probably so many. Here, wait, let me just go to my album of the year. This is what I always do when I'm thinking about specific years. It'll just show me it in order. That's literally the only thing that album of the year is good for. Just ordering all your takes from the year. Give me some 6s and 5s and shit. Schlagenheim. Schlagenheim is overrated. Norman fucking Rockwell. Let's see. Maybe the FK Twigs a little bit, just a tiny bit. Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. The Quellchris album, Guns. The Charlie XCX album that just dropped. Oh, the fucking JPEG Mafia album, dude. All My Heroes Are Cornballs. That thing is overrated, dude. Fuck. Let's see. The new Dive album, it's literally just like Dive with shoegaze now. Like, there's nothing cool about that. Especially when, like, okay, if you were to, like, play 2 songs off that album, I would be, like, super intrigued. Literally any 2, because they all sound the fucking same. But, like, as a whole album, dude, it's so boring. Also, the new Richard Dawson is really obnoxious. Bandana is overrated, Ginger is overrated, Feet of Clay is overrated, Flamagra is overrated, Girl with Basket of Fruit is overrated, is that enough? 100 or 1,000? Is it called 1,000? Yeah, okay, it's called 1,000. It's stupid that I don't know that. 1,000 Gex is overrated. Father of the Bride is overrated. Yeah, that's all I got for now. James Blake grows on everyone at some point. Okay. I think I pretty much liked James Blake from the get-go. Am I a Stereolab fan? Have I caught any of their shows? I am a fan. I have not caught any of their shows. What do I think of Grimes? Grimes is great. Oh my god, I just lost my place. Fuck. What do I think of Grimes? Yeah, she's really cool. Art Angels, anyway, is really cool. I've not checked out many of the singles she has dropped recently, though. Yeah. Is Tim Hecker going to be one of my artists of the decade? Well, Tim Hecker is just, like, one of my favorite artists ever in general, so yeah. Also, that comment was back at the color and anything. Okay, cool. Yes. It's a lovely album. Sample-based electronic music or original electronic music, which do I prefer? Well, it depends on the context, right? Depends on what the album is doing in general. I don't really care how you get to your end product. I just care about how much I like what you come up with. Yeah, there are so many questions. This is hard to juggle. I'm gonna get back to the original video. My boy Connor asked best national song or songs. Mistaken for Strangers, Quiet Light, Empire Line, The System Only Dreams in Total Darkness, Sleep Well Beast, the closer off of Sleep Well Beast. Am I missing any obvious ones? I'll Still Destroy You for sure, also. Yeah. Someone asked what's my favorite Queens of the Stone Age album and which musician has the most annoying fan base. My favorite Queens of the Stone Age album is Like Clockwork because I think the songwriting is really good on that album, and also I think I like the moments that it has like kind of room to breathe. Like the slower moments, I guess you could say, the more soulful parts. And I just think there's the most tonal variety on that album of the 3 Queens of the Stone Age albums well, 4, I guess, technically. 4 Queens of the Stone Age albums I've heard. Songs for the Deaf is cool. A lot of fantastic hooks on that, and just, like, obviously really tight guitar work. But, to me, like, if I'm gonna hear a stoner rock album, I feel like it makes sense for it to have a bit more of an abrasive finish. It's just, like, a personal thing. And I don't really think the songwriting on that album is quite as good, and Rated R is cool, but there are just some little, like, instrumental techniques that I don't really think work on there. And then who really cares about villains, right? So, which musician has the most annoying fan base? I don't know. I don't want to generalize like this, because I was gonna say, like, I don't know, Death Grips, but, like, I am a Death Grips fan, so that is me insulting myself, and I don't want to do that. I don't know, like, I'm sure there are, like, in every fan base, there are, like, super annoying people, and there are fantastic people. You just gotta kind of, like, stay away from people that suck. I don't know. Yo, you're still going, fuck yes. I missed cornball slander? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I didn't really elaborate, but yeah. Wasn't really into it this time, guys. Sorry. Did I like the Deer Hunter album from this year? Yeah, it was alright. I never come back to it. I wish it had a bit more of a personality, but it's pleasant. This was in my recommendations. What is your channel? But also, I'll Still Destroy You is 10 out of 10. What is my channel? I don't know. I review albums, like, twice a year. I don't know. I'm a very inconsistent music review channel. Hopefully I'll be consistent next year. But yeah, I talk music. Do I have any piece of band or artist merch that I really like or cherish especially? Guys, I just got the coolest 2 shirts. An Autechre shirt and a Swan shirt, and I'm literally gonna show you because I love these shirts so fucking much. Like, they're so much better than any other band merch I've ever had. I have, I guess, like, a pretty cool Sonic Youth shirt, but I never wear it, really. It's just the cover of Goo. I have a Slowdive shirt. Hold on. Let me grab the 2, okay? I also forgot to say that I have a Death Grip shirt and a Preoccupation shirt, which are both cool. Really, the only reason why I don't wear them as much is because, like, the designs themselves, they're alright, but anyway, so it says Autechre in the NTS Sessions font. It's, like, super cool. It's, like, this blocky little thing. Dude, I fucking love this shirt. It looks so fucking dope. And then, just this Swan shirt with the filth teeth. And yeah. Those are my two favorite band shirts that I wear, like, I literally wear them, like, each of them has, like, a day of the week that I wear them that much. By the way, Eminem fans are the worst, and I love Eminem. Don't kill me, please. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I won't kill you, but yeah, that's a good example. Fantana's fans are more annoying than any artist's fan base could ever be. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a claim. The people who talk about Fantano's fans like this are actually, like, more annoying than Fantano's fans. That's what I think. I think people that are really just, like, overly obsessed with the fact that Fantano sucks and his fans are so cringy are, like, probably more cringy themselves than, like, the people who are just out here, like, just listening to Fantano core albums and thinking that they're, like, the peak of music. But yeah, that's just what I think. What advice would I give to someone starting a music reviewing channel? Don't be afraid to suck, and leave your ego at the door, and kind of just do it, and be ready to be slandered, and also be ready to just kind of, like, detach yourself from what bullshit you put online, because it doesn't really matter that much at the end of the day. Which kind of gets me to the question, someone was talking about, like, you know, does it ever affect me that I am, like, the only woman in the music reviewing sphere? Yeah, kind of, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not fun sometimes, and literally, like, sometimes I think about the fact that, like, someone might, like, come onto my channel, be low-key kind of sexist, see the fact that it's a young girl talking about music, and just automatically think, well, what the hell does she know, you know? And that probably happens, like, more than I think it does, because I think a lot more people are sexist than you would think, and I've gotten a lot of sexist comments, and, you know, I've been posted all over 4chan and shit, and that kind of sucks, like, but, I'm glad, I guess, that, like, I am, because now I don't know, I guess there's some fucking female representation in music reviewing, but this is literally all just, like, YouTube based. Like, I can't think of any, obviously there are female music writers, but I can't think of any channels. Well, they exist, for sure, but I think they're more reaction channels. Yeah, I mean, I just want more females to start doing it, I guess. How long does it take you typically to come up with a video from idea to upload? Long time. So, like, when I'm consistent with reviewing, or when I kind of had, like, a pattern to where I would, like, go to work all week, be hearing the album at work, and then, so basically what I do is, because someone asked, like, what is my reviewing process anyway, and basically it's just, like, I hear the album a bunch of times, I fully, like, try to understand how I just, like, rawly feel about it, and then I write notes as I hear it that I don't end up using, just so I can sort of, like, acknowledge, like, okay, I'm making this observation, and when I put it down, like, on paper, it's, like, it sort of makes it more real to me, and helps me remember it a bit more, which then helps me organize everything together in a way that is a bit more coherent. But yeah, after I've heard the album, like, 5 to 7 times, I just sort of start sequencing points together in some sort of way that, like, flows logically, and hopefully isn't too long, and then, I start making it sound cool, which takes quite a while, because it can't sound, like, super over the top, but, you know, I'm trying to have some interesting language in here, I'm trying to paint with my words, if you feel me, so that takes a while, and then, the part that's, like, really annoying is, like, memorizing it before recording. Basically, I'll have a review, I'll repeat it to myself a bunch of times to ingrain it into my head, and then I'll record everything, and then edit. And editing is also just dull as fuck, but that whole process, I can get it done in a weekend, but it needs to be the whole weekend, so many hours, probably like 15 hours, 15 to 20 would go into, like, one video. but it's like it's starting to become less. Like I can see it happening. Like the more that I write about like my like albums for my decade and year end list, like the more I have been doing that, like the less time each has taken me. So it will probably be less, but before it was like 15 hours per video. Bruh, Mew makes my stomach hurt and my palms sweaty. True. What's my album of the year? Amy Goodall. It's Amy Goodall. Do I post on Mew or am I just lurking? I had never been on Mew until I was posted because someone sent me the thread. And no, I don't go on Mew because it just makes me want to puke. I like will check my name on there because like I'm curious. I'm sure like anyone would do that if they were being regularly posted on an online forum. But no, I don't. I literally like never go to just like the regular like home page of Mew. No, I don't post there. Hey, am I uploading a decade endless? Great to see you back. Yes, I am, eventually. At this rate, it's looking like it's gonna be, like, in February, but it'll happen, eventually. Someone said my voice was croaky. I don't know why. I think it was in response to something I said, but yeah, my voice is quite croaky, isn't it? I would love to see more gender diversity in the music tuber sphere. Wouldn't we all? She listens to an album on acid at least 5 times prior to review. Yep, that's an essential part of the process. Trying to start a music reviewing channel, I don't know where to start. Just start, but yeah, just be aware that you're gonna suck at first. Or like, not necessarily suck, but it's just you'll look back on what you're doing at first at some point and just be like, I did not know shit. Or like I didn't know shit about what I was doing. Like you can know like about music to some extent, but like you just when you start writing about it, at first it's gonna suck. Yeah, I think I'm like pretty much up to date on your clipping. There existed an addiction to blood review is still the best out, no question. Thank you, Christian. Thank you. Yeah, okay. What do you think of GFOTY and PC music overall? GFOTY album is kind of funny, I guess. PC music overall, there's a time and a place to listen to and enjoy PC music output, I guess. I don't feel passionately about it, though. I'm really getting off track. I was supposed to be answering my original questions. Someone asked Flower Boy or Igor. I would have said Flower Boy, like when Igor dropped, but now I'm thinking probably Igor just because I like the sound design on Igor more. I think it sounds more lush and just satisfying in general and would probably rather come back to it, even if maybe Flower Boy is a bit more consistent overall. So, someone asked favorite movies or directors. I don't watch movies at all, and so therefore I have no favorite directors. This pisses a lot of people off, or not pisses them off, but like, I didn't even understand like how big film was a hobby to a lot of people, until like recently, like the past few years. Like so many people are film nerds, and I guess it seems like I would be into films if I'm this into music, but I'm just not. And that's not for any like specific reason. Like I have no like personal reservations against film as an art form. It's just like I don't really go out of my way to watch movies. I don't feel particularly compelled to in my free time, like over like consuming some sort of art or just like doing something else. Like there are a lot of other things that I'm interested in over movies, but like if you were to say like let's watch a movie together, I wouldn't be like no, let's not. But I'm not really a music person or movie person. What am I saying? Okay, someone asked like a big ass question with just like a ton of individual questions. The Music Mannequin 28 asked me like fucking like 30 questions in one comment. That's no shade, it's just, I'm gonna have to really ignore you guys for a while. Have you deleted a lot of old videos that you look back on and don't like, or do you just keep them up? I have the vast majority of videos still up. I deleted my bracket videos because those are pretty cringe. And I deleted my Young Father's Cocoa Sugar review because I just know that review sucks. And it's the same thing with Little Dark Age by MGMT. I know that those reviews suck. I don't want to rewatch them to find out. I remember what I said in those, and it's not good. But yeah, the vast majority are still up. And I just prefer to, like, as long as I can just shove out the memory of what I said in reviews, I'm okay with keeping the videos up because it's not gonna just, like, haunt me random. Like, if something ever comes up to me, like, if I'm ever just, like, randomly going about my day and I think about some, like, dumb observation I made a long time ago in a review, I'm taking that down. But as long as that doesn't happen, fine. Whatever. How old am I? I'm 20. Okay. Yes, I'm making an albums of the decade. To the person who asked to see my feet, can you leave the stream, please? Anyway, okay, I'm gonna answer this big ass, just long fucking comment that this person asked, so I'm sorry if I'm, like, ignoring you guys for a long period of time. Here we go. Since I'm a painter, who are some of your favorite painters? I guess, like, okay, this is just, like, I was just going through a bunch of albums and just, like, noted down a bunch of album arts that I could just talk about because I'm quite passionate about them. Replica, Frozen Niagara Falls, Mezzanine, World Eater, Feedbacker, Kaput, There's Love in You, Birth of a New Day, Substrata, Gio Gotti, Midtown 120 Blues, Immunity, Downward Spiral, Trilogy, Ladies and Gentlemen, We Were Floating in Space, Kid A, Who Told You to Think, Garden of Delete, This Is Hardcore, Public Strain, Going Places, Painful, Forget, Returnal, Drone Logic, Confield, and Geometry by Jega, which kind of look similar, in my opinion. Like, I like them for similar reasons, so I grouped them together. Cerulean, The Color in Anything, Venice, Canoyo, Sirens, Rave Death, Melissa, any cover by Low. Like, Low just have the best fucking covers. I don't know what it is, but every single one of their album arts is just gorgeous to my eyes. Never Were the Way She Was, Without You I'm Nothing, Koenig's Forest, AZD by Actress, a lot of, like, albums that came out in the 90s have just nice design because I just like 90s design in general and specifically like 90s typefaces, and any album by Burial. So that's my whole list of just a bunch of album arts that I love. A lot of those are albums that I love too, so yeah. What inspires me the most to paint? When I feel like I have, like, something that I wanna communicate that's, like, so, like, it has to be, I have to feel it really strongly, and also I have to, like, know that I can't, like, get the same thing across in some sort of, like, written piece or review, because I've actually been writing, like, poetry, sort of, recently. Like, I've really not been in the mode of painting at all, but if I, like, really feel something so hard and I, like, just want to make it real and tangible and just, like, communicate it directly, then I will paint. Favorite video game, movie soundtracks? I don't know, honestly. I have an answer for this. There's some soundtrack that's, like, great that I'm just fucking forgetting off top. What the fuck? I'm mad at myself because I totally had an answer for this, like a great example of a soundtrack that I love, but I don't know. What artists do I think have perfect or near perfect discographies? There's so many. I made a list for this too, actually. Let me find it. Okay. Tim Hecker, Burial, One of Tricks Point Never, The Dillinger Escape Plan, Open Mike Eagle, The Field, Kendrick Lamar, Flying Lotus, Julia Holter, Portishead, Nicholas Jar, Milo, Joanna Newsom, Slow Dive, Run the Jewels, and Swans, but keep in mind that artists with small discographies have quite the advantage there. Favorite and least favorite musical instruments? I don't know. I don't really know if I have a least favorite musical instrument. Just as long as whatever's being used contextually makes sense, then, like, cool. Male or female vocals, I don't care. I love both in their own ways. Do I prefer clean or harsh vocals? Depends on the context. Thoughts on screamo and emo genres? Yeah, they're cool. I don't listen to a lot of emo or screamo, but there are albums in those genres that are great. Favorite openers and closers of albums. To answer both questions, Long Season by Fishmans. I don't know, to be honest. There are, like, way too many for me to think of off top. Albums and artists that I have enjoyed or disliked more as time has passed. There are a lot of albums that I have, like, fallen off on or, like, sort of have grown on me a bit, but, like, none that have, like, really just plummeted or just, like, raised up, like, fucking so much to the point where I, like, feel it's necessary to say. Just because I feel like once I, like, establish a connection with a certain, like, piece of art, it's kind of just there. Like, of course, like, opinions change over time, like, but the nostalgia is always kind of just gonna be, like, if I feel strongly enough about it at a point, like I was saying before, I'm kind of always gonna, to some extent, just still feel that way. But there are a lot, like, I'm not usually going, like, 3 placements up or down. So, like, if I'm giving an album, like, a 7, maybe it'll go down to, like, a 5 or up to a 9, but there's no way it's gonna go, like, any more extreme than that. One of my favorite metal albums, I sort of already answered that, but I'll do it again, I guess. Times of Grace by Neurosis. One of Us is a Killer by the Dillinger Escape Plan. White Pony, Jane Doe, We Are the Romans. What genres do I wish to explore more? Which genres do I dislike the most? I've never really been much into, like, just, like, traditional, like, modal jazz, or, like, yeah, a lot of jazz, to be honest. I have nothing against it, it's just, like, you kind of just, like, the appreciation for that kind of stuff comes from a technical perspective, and I'm not, I just don't really care. Which genres do I wish to explore more? Like, probably hardcore punk and classic rock. Yeah. Someone asked if there will be more sorting rappers into Hogwarts houses. I hope so. I hope so. I hope next year I get to that. Let me go back and see what I've missed. Thoughts on Lord, she's cool. Minecraft soundtrack, yeah, alright. It's cool, it is very much a soundtrack. Like, when I listen to the Minecraft soundtrack, I very much feel like I am listening to something that is supposed to accompany something else, so, I don't know. Donuts are introducing. It's my favorite album ever, so introducing. Alright, God, I'm, like, losing my voice, dude. Christ. Let's see. Someone asked me, what do I think of Ariel Pink's lo-fi haunted graffiti albums, and am I into Brazilian music? I think the only Brazilian artist I listen to like that is Amon Tobin. And, what do I think of Ariel Pink's lo-fi haunted graffiti albums? Well, let's see, I've heard, like, 3, I think. I've heard Mature Themes and Before Today and House Arrest. They're really the ones that you would expect. And they're alright. I feel like every single time, like, fundamentally, like, what Ariel Pink has to offer in terms of his personality, like, kind of, like, the satirical, silly little energy that he has, along with just, like, his weird mixing tactics, like, are cool on paper, and I like the fact that he's combining those two things, but in, like, nearly every single album he's ever made, it's just, like, it's, like, certain songs don't really, like, do much for me, like, just as a whole project, it's not as solid as I want it to be. Like, some songs just kind of feel like throwaway, or they feel like a total mess, or like what is happening with the actual instrumental just kind of feels a bit messy, or like it's not totally connecting all the way. So yeah, Before Today is probably my favorite of his early work, but in general, Pom Pom is his album that I like will actually return to, because I think that's just the most consistent one that he's come out with. How do I feel about Fantana shouting me out on a stream? That was a great day. I got out of the shower to just like a shit ton of notifications and a little like the needle drop followed you back on Twitter, and I was like, oh, finally. But like, why? That was a good day. What's the rating for albums that I feel like I most commonly give out? Dude, recently, like, literally, do I ever give albums anything other than like between a 6 and an 8? Like, it's so stupid, but like, I feel like I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I give too many 7s as well. But yeah, it's like, I feel like all the scores that I've given recently have been like in that little window. So I guess you could interpret that as like me being unable to be critical, but I think it's literally just like I only listen to, or the majority of what I listen to, I like have a pretty good idea I'm gonna enjoy, and then I do enjoy it, and it's like, oh, alright. Well, I was correct. Do I slap bass? I don't play bass. Do I watch any content on YouTube that doesn't revolve around music? Not consistently. No, unless I'm just forgetting a channel that I kinda come back to, but not a lot. No, I don't. I'm looking through my subscriptions. No, I don't really watch that much YouTube. Do I not have Super Chat enabled? What is that? How do I do that? Yeah, what is that? Did I like Caligula? I actually don't know if that's how you pronounce that album title. Yeah, I liked it, but I didn't really like the way it affected me emotionally. Like, it was cool. I feel like a couple songs in, I kind of got the gist of the whole, like, how the whole album was gonna affect me, in general. Like, it was a cool experience. I just, like, kind of made me feel unsettled in a way that I didn't like, I guess. By the way, my laptop's gonna die, so I'm gonna grab my charger. Hold on. Came back to Caligula the other day. Actually, that shit is tight, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I would still feel the same if I came back to it, if I'm being real with you. But, like, you've gotta, I don't know. Some of the lyrics on Caligula have, like, a lot of, spite to them. Like, and anger to them, and, like, just vengeful energy that I don't necessarily think is, like, the best look. I don't want to say the best look, but, because, like, I know what influenced her to write that album, and, like, I'm not saying that she wasn't justified, but to me, when I, like, listen to it and digest it, it just feels a little bit, just makes my skin crawl in a way that I don't like. Hold on, I'm plugging this in. Okay. Does this outlet seriously not work? I've never used this outlet before, so I wouldn't know, but... God damn it. Alright. Well... I have, like, a long-ass extension cord, so... that should work fine. In 50 years, what album from this decade do I think people will be nostalgic for? I think that's probably a pretty personal, like, it's gonna be personal for everyone. I don't really know in general. What do you think? What do you think? Least favorite personality in the YouTube music community? Fucking Not Real Music. I can't stand that guy. Like, he's such a dick. Like, that's the kind of guy, like, you want to fucking just stay away from. I don't even know why he reviews music. Like he sucks. So. I'm surprised you didn't immediately say David. Honestly, yeah, David too. David's a fucking hoe. This was established long ago. Oh my god, I hate Not Real Music. That's an inside joke. A great inside joke. I love Not Real Music. Fuck. Yeah, you can't even smell. That's... If you can't even smell, how am I, like, really sitting here trusting what you have to say about music, Ryan? Like, if you can't even, like, inhale smells. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Favorite Destroyer album. Someone asked this on my original Q&A video. Probably Street Hawk for the songwriter, for the arrangements, really. Because I also love the songwriting on Kaput, but it's kind of a tie between Street Hawk and Kaput. Someone asked my favorite Modest Mouse album artwork. That would be This Is a Long Drive. Just because, like, I love how, like, it's just, like, specifically, like, okay, you're, like, supposed to think about this in context of, like, you're just driving for forever, and it's quite a long album, so, the fact that it is kind of established that, like, you were supposed to, like, space out to this album and just imagine leaving life, I feel like it helps, like, the music and, like, what I picture when I'm hearing it quite a lot. Although I actually really like the cover for The Lonesome Crowded West, because it just looks super 90s, and I just love that. How does he know what cologne to wear? True. He probably doesn't wear cologne, right? But, like, he could, like, buy some sort of bath product that just, like, smells like shit, and, like, not even know that he just, like, smells like shit. Fucking loser. Someone asked, what are my thoughts on In My Mind by Pharrell? I've not heard it. I've not heard any Pharrell, like, solo work, I don't think. Just, like, songs that he has produced. And, like, nerd stuff and whatnot. Someone asked, thoughts on Sonic Youth, Kate Bush, and the new Black Midi album. Alright. Sonic Youth are great. They probably have one of the best discographies in rock music. Kate Bush is fantastic, of course. I think she makes really, you know, invigorating and endearing art pop music, and I think her voice is just totally lovely, and I love how theatrical her albums can get at points. The new Black Midi album, pretty overrated. The first time I heard it, I didn't like it at all, but I came back to it, and I sort of came around, but I just think that, like, that album is so just, like, structurally haphazard, and also a lot of the guitar work just doesn't really, like, do that much for me, to be honest, and I feel like its whole personality, like, I could find in another album. Like, it's not really giving me anything unique enough to the point where I feel like, alright, this is, like, essential to come back to, and it really feels like an individual piece, especially with the genres, like, that it's working with. Like, I feel like some of it was a bit sort of cliche, but there were some really fantastic songs on it, though, at the same time, so I don't know. Someone asked me what songs or albums motivate me to be creative and as productive as possible, and someone else asked me, like, if I were to, like, make music myself, what artists would I look to for inspiration? There was, like, a phase I went through, like, at the beginning of this year where I really wanted to make an album that organized harsh noise in a way that is, like, melodically satisfying in the same way that, like, Frozen Niagara Falls does. But obviously I wouldn't want to just like remake that album, but for some reason when I hear that album it just reminds me of something that I would want to create myself. And yeah, but what songs motivate me to be creative? Like, there are a ton. Yeah, someone else asked, like, what songs inspire me in general. Just follow me on Spotify and go through, like, my playlists named after, like, months and years, because those are just, like, songs that I sort of, like, become obsessed with at a point for a specific reason and can't put down. So, yeah. Bro, if I ever saw Drake in person, I'd legit just die laughing on the spot. Dude, same. Wait, why did you say... Why did you say that? What was that in response to, Camden? What's the best song in the Ape of Naples? That's a good question. Hold on, I'm gonna look at the track list. I would also probably start dying laughing if I saw Drake in person. Maybe like It's in My Blood off The Ape of Naples. I don't have a letterbox because I'm not into film. When do you think music reviewers will stop comparing every electronic, hardcore, industrial song to Death Grips? Not soon, but also just like get off RYM and music Twitter and those little corners of the internet that just suck. Because they're never gonna stop. Do you think Kate Bush influenced Young Thug's vocals? Can you confirm this theory? Definitely. Yes. Does Vector ending up the way it did prove that we can't have nice things? Someone tell me like the full story behind what happened with Vector, because I heard about this, but I don't actually know the deets. Not that I'm not invested in Vector anyway, necessarily. Pitbull or Florida? I don't know. Is this like a music review channel? Find out for yourself. Yeah, it is. Never been asked that before on my music review channel. Power electronics, cool or not cool? Cool. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this video. Someone asked, favorite Yo La Tango album or song? Album and song, I assume. Favorite album would be Painful. And favorite songs, notice I said plural, like songs, because there are too many. Probably like Deeper Into Movies and Sudden Organ and the last song on and then Nothing Turned Itself Inside Out. And Sugar Cube is great. Decora is great. Favorite Cocteau Twins album or song? Favorite album is Treasure. Favorite song is the first off of Treasure, the opener. I actually am not as into Cocteau Twins as I feel like I should be. Have never quite seen what's so, like, fucking to die for about what Cocteau Twins have put out, personally. At least in, like, an entire, like, in the context of listening to an entire album by them. Just 'cause, like, I sort of get sick of, like, everything being such a, like, huge atmosphere. Sometimes I wish that, like, the actual instrumentals, were just, like, a bit more, like, bare and interesting. Like, I wish that they peeled back the layers sometimes, and, yeah, I don't know. They're cool, though. Like, I think they make me kind of feel like a pretty cool blend of, like, warm and cold inside, and, I dig that. And, the lead vocalist has a really beautiful voice. I wish that I could tell what the fuck she was saying, though, more often. Maybe that's part of why I'm not. Maybe if I could tell what she was saying, I would really dig the lyrics, and then that would help. Thoughts on Saint Vincent? She is very cool. Yeah, she has a really consistent discography, all things considered, for pop. music. I think Actor is my favorite by her because I love the way the lyrics talk about isolation. I think there are some really smart lyrics on that album. And also, I just love the fact that, like, I love the chamber pop angle that album takes. And I think just in general, like, obviously she knows how to write a fantastic hook, and her guitar work is great. And, yeah, Self-Titled is also pretty great. Yeah, I really like her. Thoughts on In the Airplane Over the Sea. I quite like it. I'm not in love with it. Well, you know, I don't know. Do you guys consider a 7 being in love with it? Because personally I don't, but I know some people are more, like, critical with their scores than I am. Personally, to me, a 7 is, like, I may or may not come back to it. Like, I'm not gonna think of it, like, to come back to over, like, the 8s. I think probably, like, the songwriting on In the Airplane Over the Sea is my favorite part of it. Like, the album's kind of, like, deceivingly comforting, which I think is really cool. But I've never had, like, a soft spot for it. That's how I feel about Beach House. Fair, kind of. I know why you say that. I might actually kind of agree in a way, to an extent. Yeah. Chris Iago, I don't think you're still here, but you asked on my video, on a scale of 1 to 10, how have you liked the stuff I've recommended to you? Probably like a 5 or a 6. Like, it's not stuff that I would ever personally seek out, but it's been, like, interesting to me. Tacos or pizza? Depends on how good the respective tacos and pizzas are. Like, where are you getting these things? Are you making them yourself? Is it a hard shell taco? Is it a soft shell taco? There's so many factors that can contribute to each of these, but really just depends on the mood that I'm in. I guess tacos because, like, if you eat pizza, you're just gonna feel like shit afterwards. And favorite movie, I don't know. I guess from, like, the 10, 15 movies I've seen, Donnie Darko is my favorite movie, but I haven't seen many at all. Gingers have no soul. Am I a ginger? Literally tell me, like, how red is my hair? Like, I never thought my hair was that red. But how do you feel about listening to an album more than 10 times if you feel like you're missing something about it? Some rap songs grew on me from a decent 6 to a strong 7 after over, like over 300 Scrabbles. Well, I mean, like, it depends on, like, I guess how attentive those listens are. 'Cause to me, after, like, 5 to 6 attentive listens, I feel like I get it. But maybe not every listen I give an album just for pleasure is all that attentive. So after, like, 10 listens, I think I get it. And the only thing that's really gonna make me, like, change my mind about an album after that much, like, sitting with it is time. Like, so yeah. Dude, I'm tired of talking. But trying to get through this. Someone asked what's my favorite ambient album. Radio Amore. And really a lot of Tim Hecker in general. And probably, like, I would say Königsforst. And I'm probably forgetting some. Substrata. Substrata is one of my favorite ambient albums for sure. Favorite electronic album. There's Lovin' You, World Eater is electronic, I suppose. See, a lot of things could, like, fall into the category of, like, electronic. Let me just pull up my 10s, because apparently I can't think of my, like, 20-some 10s just off the top of my head, because I'm that dumb. Okay, Untrue, for sure. Go into my 9s. Drug use, of course. Of course. From Here We Go Sublime is great. Rounds is great. Immunity is great. Pomegranates is great. So many. Have I listened to Ski Mask? Not Ski Mask the Slump God, but Compro Ski Mask. This person says Compro is one of my favorite albums of the decade, and I'd suggest checking it out if you haven't. Yes, I have heard Compro, and I really like it. I think it pretty much just like offers everything that you could want out of like a chilling ambient techno album, and the breakbeats on that thing are really crisp, if I do say so myself. Yeah, like really consistently engaging album as well. Like every song kind of offers something new for it, which I appreciate. And yeah, really, really good. Someone asked if I had to give up one of the major genres, which one would it be and why? I guess country, but only because I never listen to country, and I wouldn't really be. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything with what I listen to now, but maybe I would feel differently if I actually tried to get into country. So that's no shade against country. It's literally just like I could like cut it out of my life and not feel like I'm missing anything. What was the better year for music, 2016 or 2018? 2016, for sure. I actually think 2018 is one of the worst of the decade, personally. Or maybe I just lived 2018 with like a pessimistic outlook, and that's why I feel that way. But no, I literally think that 2018 is like it has the fewest 8s for me, I think, all decade. And 2016 is my favorite year of the decade. It has so many fantastic albums. So... favorite Machine Girl album, probably Wolf Girl. Okay. Someone asked, quote, "Is it possible to be a true music hipster without knowing about RYM?" This comment's crazy because I haven't heard the word hipster used in like years, dude. Well, it's RYM certainly helps. Like, I feel like my journey as a music lover was just changed forever after I found RYM. So I get what you're saying, but what's with the word hipster? Like, what do you mean there? Someone asked my top 5 favorite rap albums. Ooh, baby. T-Pab and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because I'm unoriginal apparently. And probably Black Up actually by Shabazz Palaces, and probably Black on Both Sides by Mos Def, and what else? It's another like 9 of mine that I really hold to high regard that is hip hop. Maybe a Milo album. Could I really like make that call? Oh, maybe Labor Days too. Maybe Labor Days. Maybe Atrocity Exhibition. I don't know. Do I have any tattoos? Yes, I have 3 tattoos. I won't talk about them. I definitely won't talk about them, but I have this thing, and then I have a thing behind my neck, and a thing behind my ear. So, yes. They're all pretty small. Opinion on Nujabes. He is lovely. Modal Soul specifically is lovely. Splendor and Misery, yeah, true. Yeah, I don't really like, that doesn't really come to my mind when I'm thinking like rap albums though, because it's just so weird. It's just like an album. It's just in its own lane. It's its own genre. I don't know. But yeah, Splendor and Misery could make that list. Let's see. Someone asked, like, songwriters I feel particularly passionate about, and I made a list because there are too many fantastic songwriters for me to just, like, think of this off top. So let me look for this. I feel like the whole first start of this stream, I was like, I had so much energy, and now I'm just like shutting the fuck off, dude. That's probably good because I'm like less tense now. Why can't I find this in my notes? Oh, here we go. Okay. I said Dan Behar of Destroyer for sure. The way that he writes makes me so happy to be alive and be able to just, like, create and experience living in the world. Isaac of Modest Mouse, many art rappers, Fiona Apple, Nick Cave, Elias of Ice Age, David Tibet. Dude, I've been listening to so much Current 93 in the past 24 hours. Whew. Jordan Dreyer of Law Dispute, PJ Harvey, King Cruel, Beth Gibbons, Matt of The National, and Joanna Newsom. And also this person said, are there any pieces of media that have notably changed my way of thinking? Too many to count, really, and they're probably all, like, albums. So, yeah. Someone asked me to just, like, review random old albums. They were like, will you review older albums in your channel? Not necessarily classics, but music not in the same period you're in, like some very underappreciated album from 2013 that I've only just found now. No, not unless I have a reason to. Like, people always ask this shit. Like, they're always like, will you review this, like, random, like, fucking album that came out, like, 10 years ago, like, that you have no reason to review? Like, just random? Like, obviously not, no. Like, no matter how much I love, because obviously, like, there's so many, like, that I have just, like, missed throughout time anyway, so I would probably just be covering those first, so, like, there's no reason why I'm gonna just, like, sorry if you can hear that outside, there's no reason why I'm just gonna, like, pick up your random fucking shit, and just, like, review it if it came out, like, 8 years ago. That's not 8 years ago, but you get what I'm saying. That's 6 years ago. Okay, someone had a question about, like, music videos, like, they said, do I think it's important to have a correlation between the visual art and music, seeing that a lot of music videos are fairly egocentrical, focusing the whole video on filming the artist performing the song? And also, do you smoke weed? I don't smoke weed, or I don't buy weed, have smoked weed before, and in terms of the music video thing, I kind of just see music videos as, like, a supplementary thing. Like, I don't really care what the artist does. Yeah, it's kind of just, like, a thing that can go along with, like, a song more so than it is. Like, I don't really have a standard myself for, like, what artists want to do with their music videos. Don't really care. I also just haven't seen a lot of music videos, if I'm being real. Hey, yo, check out my mixtape, yo. It's straight fire beat. Drop the link, and maybe I'll hear it at work tomorrow. Today's Sunday, wow. Okay, I've actually, like, I think I've answered quite a bit of the comments that I've originally got, and I feel really bad for anyone who asked things on this video, because I don't have, like, a timestamp for them to go to, like, see their question answered. This is just a mess. I think I've answered all that, like, I intended to answer. Alvin, Simon, or Theodore, are these chipmunks? These are chipmunks, right? I don't know shit about Alvin and the Chipmunks. Boy? I've never seen any of those movies. What have I missed? You sound like you You sound like you need a Red Bull or need to sleep. Yeah, it's just that I'm losing my voice. That's all. And I always need to sleep. And I don't get enough sleep in general. Does anyone really get as much sleep as they feel they need? Do I stream on Twitch? No, I don't really stream in general. This is kind of like a just once in a blue moon type. Is that a phrase? I don't know if that's a phrase, but this is a rare thing. What about Pinata? Yeah, Pinata's great, but I don't love it like that. It wouldn't like make my favorite of anything. And the best part about it to me is really the beats and the energy to it. It's not like Freddie himself. So gonna go grab some grub and I'll be right back. Okay, Chris, have fun. Keep yourself nourished, and I might stop streaming in a little while. Honestly, coffee or energy drinks? Fucking coffee, dude. Coffee is like the only thing that gives me any hope these days. Coffee is great, man. Coffee's just like coffee shops. Like the energy in coffee shops is like gold. Like everyone's just being productive, like being chill, like just kind of getting their fix, like just casually hanging out. Like, dude, the energy in coffee shops, like I go to coffee shops so much. Like over the weekend it's just me in coffee shops writing, and just coffee is so dope in general because there are so many different ways that you can like experiment with it and have it, and I really like the taste of coffee. I know that's kind of weird to some people, but to me the taste of coffee is like one of the main things that draws me to it. I'm still just like scrolling through here. Someone asked my worst concert experience. I'm not really sure, but I did say like I have been to a lot of shows that I wasn't invested in like that, just in my life. But nothing that like, oh, you know what? There is an example I have. I was at a festival with my sister and she wanted to see Mumford & Sons. So I saw Mumford & Sons with her. So there's that, and then someone threw up on my foot, like, before they even came on, so I fucking saw Mumford & Sons with vomit on my foot. So that's probably the worst, like, situation that I've ever been in. And also I was just exhausted, because it was, like, the end of the fucking festival. You're only allowed to have iced coffee or hot coffee for the rest of your life. Which do you choose? Josh, what are you doing? That's terrible. Okay, like, I trade off pretty equally, okay? Like, I can't just, like, cut off. That's like asking, like, oh, you can only listen to, like, pop albums for the rest of your life, no rock out. Like, bitch, what? What? You can't just... I don't know. I guess... If I can have, like, iced cappuccinos, Camden, I know, like, you're gonna feel me on this one. Like, if I can still have, like, ice drinks with, like, a bit of foam on top, maybe I would say iced, because to me, that's, like, the foam is, like, the best fucking part, dude. Do I like any metal? Yeah, but I don't really like... Someone actually asked, am I a metalhead? I would not call myself a metalhead, and you definitely shouldn't come to me for, like, metal recommendations, but I do, like, work metal albums into, like, my listening routines pretty regularly. Like, given I still miss a lot, but I miss a lot in general. Just in music, you know. I think it's common for people to feel burnt out at the end of a stream. Yeah, how long have I been going? 2 hours? Yeah. Freddie is a kind of average rapper TV. Well, he's a really good rapper. It's just, like, I don't really personally, like, get that much out of, like, what he talks about lyrically. And I know, like, I don't know. Freddie Gibbs is cool because, like, it's like, yeah, obviously he has something to say about the shit that he's seen and been through, and that's cool. It's just, to me, like, I don't want to say I can't relate to any of it, but I feel like he doesn't necessarily talk about it in a way that, like, actually interests me, unfortunately. Do I know of Dom Sketchcast? I know of him. I haven't seen any of his videos. He commented on one of my videos once, though. Something really confusing. Like, I didn't know what he was saying, but I noticed he did it and was like, oh my god, that's Dom Sketchcast. But yeah, that's all I have to say there. Hey, just wanted to say you're a great reviewer that definitely needs more attention. Thank you. Just, like, tell all your friends about me. Dude, it's really in your hands. You can expose me to more people. I'm not gonna go out of my way to do that. Wherever I get is wherever I get. I get burnt out after like 40 minutes, man. This is impressive, Loki. Well, I think I'm reacting to like the fact that like when I started the stream, I was kind of nervous, and now I'm like not really nervous anymore. So I'm trying to like embrace that and like have fun with it a bit more. And also, like, dude, I'm so, like, deprived of social interaction, it's actually fucking sad, so this is just, like, nice, to be honest. It's, like, therapeutic. Oh, Nick, you're here. Wow, that sounds really enthusiastic. Nick, that person is, like, really happy that you're here. Oh, God, Nick Marsh is here. Fuck, I gotta like stop streaming. I just hate him so much. Thoughts on Elliott Smith? If you say you don't like him, you fail the vibe check. Who doesn't like Elliott Smith, honestly? That's fucked up if you don't like Elliott Smith. Like, even not even a little bit. Like, I don't trust you if you... This shit's just so likable. What I liked and don't like about Blackwater Park by Opeth. Well... I only listened to it like once or twice and it was a long time ago, but if I remember correctly, it was really progressive and generally evocative, so I like that. I think the only thing I didn't like about it is that it tired me out by the end, which could change with like more listens, but I don't necessarily think it gripped me the entire way through in terms of like each song was very like chunky in terms of structure, like it would just progress a bunch and then that, I don't know. I need to rehear it. You think you have no social interaction? I literally have no friends. I don't have any friends either, buddy. Actually. Well, give or take. It depends on like what you consider like a friend. Like I kind of talk to the people I live with now. There's like one person I live with, and then like there are these two girls from work, or that I met from work that quit that I, like, might be seeing tonight, but, like, we're not close friends like that. We kind of just, like, have hung out a couple times. I don't know if I can, like, call them friends, and then I have a shit ton of online friends, and that's, like, it. So, yeah. Don't think that you're more of a recluse than me, because you don't know. Replica when... 24/7, all the time, every day. I assume you're asking when am I gonna talk about it, actually. Well, in my decade list, spoiler alert, and in my one at Tricks Point never. Best to worst, of course. Don't worry, there will definitely be a time where I talk about Replica. Best death metal album. In order to answer that, I'm gonna go to... like, specifically death metal, like, not metal in general. I'm gonna go through my Rate Your Music library. I haven't listened to much death metal that like, technical death metal that I've really been that into. Yeah, like, literally I've only heard, like, a couple albums by Death, and I've heard Unquestionable Presence by Atheist, which I wasn't that into. Like, Death are cool, but, like, I don't know, I don't ever come back to their stuff. Okay, I stand corrected, we're both owners. Yeah, we are. Kiss Me Buff. There you go, honey. Wow, a modern romance. I say a modern romance a lot. What is the tapestry? Oh, well, it's a collage of... It's the classic Soundvinge collage of a shit ton of albums that I like. I printed it out at Pratt Institute. Shout out to them. Last year. Do Do I like shoegaze similar to like My Bloody Valentine and Slow Down? Well, yeah, I really like shoegaze, and isn't a lot of shoegaze technically like similar to them? I mean, kind of like these shoegaze acts. All I ever listen to is Playboy Cardi. That's tragic, honestly. God. Imagine only listening to Playboy Cardi. That sounds like a sad fucking life. What's my favorite Tim Hecker album? I love how you said, what is your Tim Hecker favorite album, though? I mean, I'm just assuming you meant, you know, what's his best one? It's Radio Amore, and then maybe Virgins, fuck it. No, probably Harmony and Ultraviolet, but I'm almost tempted to say Virgins is next. I actually should come back to Rave Death, because my last listen of Rave Death wasn't as good as I, like, remembered it being. Cardi's the best musician of the decade, probably all time. Oh, God. Imagine thinking that. That's really sad. It sounds like an amazing life. Okay, Connor. Connor, were you here when I answered your question? I answered your, like, favorite national songs question. Just listed off a bunch of them. Amy is right, that sounds like an unlivable existence. Thank you. Thank you. We need more Die-Lit haters out here. We need more Die-Lit haters out here. Yeah. I'm gonna become an ASMR channel. Yeah. Too many people are like, Die-Lit is like the best. Die-Lit is like the most incredible cloud rap. Fucking shut up. Die-Lit is a masterpiece. No, it isn't, bro. No, it isn't. It's actually really flat. I think the reason why I feel this way actually is just Playboy Cardi himself. Like, he's not an entertaining performer at all to me. Like, fuck. Yeah. I don't like the cadence to his voice, and, like, he sounds like he's just, like, not even trying, just kind of, like, spitting into the fucking mic. And, yeah. I mean, that's fine if that's what you're into, but, like, no, not for a whole song. Maybe for, like, 5 minutes. Or, not 5 minutes, I meant 5 seconds. Maybe for, like, a little bit. Maybe I'll, like, put on, because, like, for Die-Lit, it's, like, when I first hear those beats, I'm like, fuck yeah. And then Playboy Cardi himself comes in and just brings down the fucking energy. Like, how was your day, Amy? Hope it was great. Aw, it sucks. Well, this stream has been cool, but I woke up at, like, 12 or 1 or so, and felt like garbage for, like, an hour or two, so, I don't know. The sun is, like, already going down, and it's only, like, fucking 5 p.m. This is bad. It just makes me feel like I'm, like, these days are just fucking cut way shorter than there actually are. Of course, listening to any artist for the rest of your life would suck, but if I had to pick one, no. Yeah, like, I mean, literally brings down the energy, like, his ad-libs and his vocal cadence and everything about it just kind of, like, puts me to sleep in a way that, like, I'm not really even necessarily, like, hypnotized in a way that I like. It's, like, he's literally, like, pushing me to, like, not be engaged. That's just kind of how I feel listening to him. The cultural relevance of Die-Lit is on the cusp of, like, the national anthem or some shit. Yeah. Brings down the energy. Can't believe I missed the national question. Shake my head. I'll just repeat it to you. I said my favorite national songs are, like, Empire Line and I'll Still Destroy You and Mistaken for Strangers, and I actually really like the title track on Sleep Well Beast. That might be kind of an uncommon pick, but I really like it. And I think Quiet Light, I said. Those are my favorites. Okay, I think I should leave, because if I don't leave now, I don't know when I will, and also, I can barely talk anymore, so, every day is just, like, gray skies until 3 p.m., then it's all black. Yeah, here, it's, like, literally just, like, at 4:30 p.m. It's like suddenly the sky is black. Like what? Yeah, dude, Camden, you like that song too? Thank God. I feel like that's like no one ever talks about the title track on that album, or if they do, it's like in context of it being kind of like a throwaway, which is dumb. Am I gonna post the stream? Okay, so like I don't know. I'm gonna like have to rewatch some of this and see how uncomfortable I come across. The guy said thank you for answering my question. You're welcome. Thanks for the stream, made me fire. Thank you. I like the atmosphere of the stream. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not boring as shit or just like really uncomfortable. Because that's how I feel I am. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll post the stream, assuming I don't watch it back and just like cringe to a fuck ton. Good night, Amy, my cats all say hi. I say hi back, and good night, Josh. Have a good night. Yeah, okay. Thank you all for like tuning in and shit, wasting your time with me. Really appreciate that. And maybe I'll be back before the lists drop because it'll be quite a while. It'll probably be like a month at least for the year-end list, and then for the decade list it'll probably be like early February. So yeah, it'll be a bit. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. If I missed your question, please like tell me and I'll just answer it in the comments. So yeah, definitely post you were super again. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. Alright. Your host game has been utter flames, not gonna lie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Swag. Alright guys, keep it dope swag out there. I'll see you later. Bye.